Hello and welcome to Teal House Farm. Today we're going to show you what our homesteading schedule is for the late winter and the spring, so you know what's coming up. First, I am attempting to keep the background noise to a minimum for you, but I apologize in advance if you hear a little bit of it. I do have the dryer running, and also the girls are all playing in the other room. I really want to encourage you, whether your homesteading plans are humongous, or if this is your first year and you're starting small, that you come up with a schedule and a list. When you can see things written down and when you see what order they have to be done in, it really helps make things feel manageable versus making them feel super overwhelming. And I will tell you, there is so much to be done in the spring when it comes to homesteading or any kind of farmsteading, that it can feel very overwhelming very quickly. And having a list just lets you be able to tick things off so you feel like you've accomplished something and you can see where you're going. This year I actually bought myself a really nice home planner and I am loving it. It's from the Passionate Penny Pincher. But in previous years, I've just used a calendar that I bought at the dollar store that just had spots to write in for every day and a spot where you can see your whole month overview. So you don't need to spend a lot of money to keep a list. So let's talk about what we're doing. The first things that you'll see happen are things we've already talked about. So the first week of February, we are replanting the greenhouse. If you've been watching a lot of our newer videos, you'll see that we organized, the girls and I organized all the seeds in this super neat seed storage container that has separate cartridges. I can easily label and organize all my seeds. This has helped me so much. I know that I have everything that I need for my greenhouse planting. I also have everything I need for my spring main garden planting. Greenhouses first will be planted the first week of February, and we're going to be doing cabbages. I'm going to try to start onion seeds. I've never done that before. And also going to do some more spinaches and lettuces because they did so well in the greenhouse in the fall. Not long after that, we're going to go ahead and get our first batch of chicks. They have already been ordered. We have some really neat breeds coming. Unfortunately, Sam is at work, so he can't list them off for you, and I don't remember all of them. But we have several breeds of laying chicks coming. We also have some types of ducks coming. And if you've been watching, you know that Sam has our chicken coop all redone for these. We expect them to come, I believe it is February 20th. Like I said, they've already been pre-ordered. We're a little bit nervous though. The post office has been so slow getting things to us. We're really nervous that the chicks are going to get mailed and that they are going to die before they make it to our post office, just because of how slow the postal service is. So hopefully the postal service has some sort of system organized where they make sure that the live animals being shipped actually ship in one day like they're supposed to. But I'm a little bit worried about that, I'll be honest. Also in February and March, we are adding to our chicken and duck flock. Sam's going to buy pullets to increase the flock without having to start with the chicks and then wait 5-6 months for them to start laying. So we are just keeping an eye on the local Craigslist and ads, looking for birds that are less than a year old that people are wanting to sell. And we are not super particular about breed of laying chickens, so pretty open-ended. Also in March, we will plant our root crops, so our garlics and our onions will go into the ground. And we're expecting a pair of baby goat kids in March as well. Should be the end of the month. We also are hoping to expand our goat flock. If you've been watching, you know that we sold off one of our Nubian does and several sets of kids. We've had Nubian does for, let's see, 3 years now, and they are a great breed. They're very gentle. They give a very rich milk, but they are on the lower end of milk production, and we would really like to have enough milk in order to sell some of our goat's milk. We feel like that could be a profitable venture for us. And Nubians, since they give the least amount really of any of the milking breeds, we don't feel like is the best choice for this. So we are looking to weed out our Nubians and add to our goat herd hopefully some Saanens or another breed that is a larger milk producer. And because we don't want to rush, we don't want to buy somebody else's problem goat, we're pretty open-ended to the timeline for this. Hopefully sometime in the spring, so this could be tomorrow or it could be all the way in May. Like Sam's checking the ads every day for chickens, and he's checking every day for goats, and when we see what we want, we're going to go ahead and jump on it, but we're not going to rush into a bad decision just because we're so excited to get this going. Something that we plan to do in late March or in April, well, that I planned to do, and I am still convincing Sam that this is a good idea, is to buy butchering chickens for us and go ahead and raise them and butcher them ourselves. He's not quite sure he wants to. One of the reasons is we don't have any of the equipment for butchering. We've done it before without any nice equipment. We only butchered, and I say we, Sam and Poopsie, only butchered 4 roosters, I think, and it took all day because we basically had a big pot and a table that they could use and had to do it the very old-fashioned way. It was incredibly slow. And then the next year, we decided we were gonna raise a whole bunch and we were gonna send them to a processor and we were gonna sell birds. And Sam raised a beautiful flock of butchering hens, and we sent them off to this processor that was like an hour and a half away from us, and the processor did an awful job. Every bird came back with broken wings or legs. Most of them had cuts or bruises in the skin. They had said that they would wrap the birds, and the birds came back unwrapped, and we didn't have any way to wrap them, and obviously you have to take care of it quickly. So we ended up having to put them in 2-gallon Ziploc bags, which looked horribly unprofessional, and we already pre-sold birds. It was just a mess. And we were really embarrassed. We appreciated everybody's kindness. We had only sold like 20, and most of them were to family and friends, and everybody was very kind, but we were really hoping to have a professional looking product so that the next year we could increase and do, 50 or 100 and know that we could put out a good professional product. But instead it felt like we spent all this time raising a great bird and then the processor butchered it on us, and we ended up with a terrible final product. I would like to raise butchering chickens ourselves and butcher them ourselves. There's a local place where we can actually rent a very nice setup to butcher birds, and the idea is this year I would like to do about 30, and they would just be ours, maybe give a couple to family, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how quickly we can do that many birds, and that way we can consider whether or not investing in a butchering setup, investing in raising a large number of birds is something we really want to try, because we know that sending them to the local processor is just a bad idea. The final thing to look forward to this spring is the most obvious, and that's the spring garden planting. Root vegetables will be in March, and then April, May, June, every week something goes in. It's very busy. Fingers crossed that this year is the year for our raised garden bread edition. I say that every year, and every year we run out of time. It's just so hard to get everything done that there is to do. And every year we just end up expanding the old-fashioned row garden a little bit farther out so we can fit everything I had planned for the raised beds, and just doing it that way. But fingers crossed we can at least get some raised beds up, especially with me going to be super pregnant this summer. It's just anything that we can do in order to keep me from having to crawl around on the ground to take care of the garden will just make everybody happier and make it go a lot more smoothly. So that's what we have planned. We're really excited for this late winter and the spring. So much going on. So stay tuned for that as well. We would love to hear from you if you have something new planned on your homestead, or any new homesteading venture you think you might be undertaking this spring. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon.